If you're currently using an iPhone, there's a good chance that this latest iOS update has brought with it an interesting new pop-up notification that looks and sounds a little something like this. Allow this app to track your activity across other companies' apps and websites. You may have just brushed it off like all those other prompts when apps ask to use your microphone or camera or whatever, or you may have seen the word track and rightfully been a little creeped out. No matter how much this may have affected you though, that little box is causing members of the tech community to lose their shit, mainly because it escalates a rivalry between two of the most powerful companies to ever exist. But first, let's start off with a quick question that's probably popped into a lot of your heads straight away, which is, my activities being tracked across different apps? You bet your sedentary ass it is. Have you ever wondered to yourself, hey, how do social platforms make money when they give away the apps for free? I'll let Zuckbot answer that question for you.
Senator, we run ads.
That's right, advertisers are the ones who pay for these services, essentially making them the real customers. And the thing that these customers are buying is you. There's a proverb among tech circles that goes a little something like this: if you're not the one paying for the product, then you are the product. But social platforms aren't the only ad-driven industry out there. TV shows, radio broadcasts, podcasts, hell, even major highways have ads sprinkled throughout them. But tech platforms have a distinct advantage, and that is the ability to show different ads to different people. That's why they're the ones raking in the big bucks. 227 billion big bucks to be more exact. Companies like Google and Facebook realized early on that they had a much higher success rate placing ads in front of their users if they knew more about those users. And that's why everything you do, and I mean everything, is tracked and logged. What you click on, where you scroll, where you stop scrolling, how long you stop your scroll to look at a certain image, all of it.
Did you ever have the feeling you're being watched?
All this data about what makes you tick is compiled and analyzed by algorithms, which then create a digital model of you in order to predict what you'll do next. If you've ever seen an online ad that's made you go, what the is my phone listening in on all my conversations? You've witnessed one of those algorithms in action. They can tell with frightening accuracy everything about you, from your age to your gender, your political affiliation, your income, your mood, your personality, where you buy shit, what shit you buy, what shit you're gonna need to buy, and there's even more scary news because as we mentioned before, they are tracking your activity across different sites and apps. It's enough to make you go,
People!
Google Ads, for example, don't just run on Google. According to their own website, they run across more than 2 million websites, reaching over 90% of internet users. The same goes for giants like Facebook and Amazon. Between the three of them, they make up over 2/3 of all digital ad money spent. And if you think you're safe because you don't have an active account with them, think again. Websites, apps, social media companies, data brokers, and ad tech firms all collect, buy, and consolidate data that's collected on you using a unique code that's used to identify every Apple device called an IDFA. And before all you Android users out there start going, haha, that's what you get for blindly following Apple, guess what? You guys have tracking numbers too, so maybe stop being so fucking smug about stuff. Anyways, with all these companies collecting scary amounts of data on you, they're selling way more than just your attention. They know how to change your perception and alter your behavior so that when they serve you an ad that's terrifyingly accurate, they know you're that much more likely to click it. But that's where Apple supposedly comes in to save the day. This new update essentially allows you to hide your IDFA from any or all of the apps used on your Apple device. They can still log your activity if you're signed on their app, but when it comes to following that unique ID across different apps and sites, not so much. And that's left at least one social media giant, well, effed. They've even started fighting back with some pop-up notifications of their own, arguing that their relentless tracking of you, quote, helps keep Facebook free of charge and, quote, supports businesses that rely on ads to reach their customers. But if you find it odd that this cyborg attempting to mimic human emotion is suddenly now a champion of small business, experts say that there's likely other motives at play. If you add up the number of active users across Facebook and all the other social platforms that they own, you get more than the next 8 competitors combined. So then who's left to take them on? Why don't we just ask Zuckbot here? I do want to highlight that we increasingly see Apple as one of our biggest competitors, he said on an earnings call back in January. Apple has every incentive to use their dominant platform position to interfere with how our apps and other apps work, which they regularly do to preference their own. And this impacts the growth of millions of businesses around the world. So yeah, in a lot of ways, this pop-up is a first shot in a potential conflict that is only going to get worse as these two companies continue to grow in revenue and influence. But before you start making shirts that say Team Apple or Team Facebook, let's focus on what this means for you. Like it or not, almost all the sites you visit and apps you use are collecting data off of you and profiting off of it. If you like being served ads that are tailored to your interests, then maybe you don't mind it. Or maybe you prefer that these companies don't know so frickin' much about you. At least now you're able to make more of a conscious choice about it. And if you're not going to delete all your accounts, then here's something else you can do. If there's any topic out there that's got you scratching your head and you're too scared to ask, you should totally send it our way. Tweet using the hashtag #QuickQuestion or email us at questions@brainjolt.com. Don't forget to follow us, and remember, quick questions don't always have quick answers.